What's up everybody? So in this video we're going to be talking about everything that you need to know for D4.1 HL. If you guys want mock exams, tons and tons of IB style questions, or even beautiful notes, then just make sure to check out TeachMe.org. Without further ado, let's just get started. The first thing we need to do is distinguish between the two words genome and gene pool, because they sound similar and they are pretty similar, but there's a big difference you guys need to understand about them. A genome is all of the DNA of one single organism. So to have it written out here, a genome is the complete set of DNA, including all the genes of a single organism. So let's take this organism here. I don't know what this is, but let's pretend it's human. If we look at one of its cells, right, we know each of its cells contains all of its DNA in the nucleus. So if we take a look at one of this guy's cells, and we take a look at its nucleus, we will see all of its chromosomes. So let's say this is the karyogram, right? A karyogram is a little diagram that shows all of the chromosomes all the way from 1 to 23 of this human, all right? This human, if we can call it that. That is the genome of this organism, right? The complete set of DNA, including all of the genes of this single organism. That's its genome. And we know each of these chromosomes, located on them, we have all these different genes, right? Millions of genes, thousands, millions of genes on different places of these chromosomes. So let's take a look at one of these chromosome pairs, chromosome pair 1, let's say. It's going to have all of these genes. Maybe here's a gene, here's a gene, here's a gene, and they all code for a different characteristic, right? Now we know, we learned this in D3.2 inheritance. So if you don't know what I'm talking about here, this is actually something that we do not cover in detail in this video. We learned this in D3.2 inheritance. But you should know that each gene can have different versions of that gene, right? So for example, if we take this gene here, let's say this one codes for earlobe attachment. So you notice how some individuals in society have free earlobes. Look, the earlobe has like a loop thing hanging. It's not attached to your head. Whereas other earlobes don't have that loop. It's like attached to your head. So this would be a free earlobe and this would be an attached earlobe. The reason why this occurs is because there are different versions of the earlobe gene. Some versions, for example, this one here, the dominant allele, codes for a free earlobe. And the small letter one here, the recessive allele, the recessive version of that gene, will code for an attached earlobe, right? So these are alleles, different versions of the gene. So we know, we learned this in inheritance, so I'm not gonna like try and go into crazy detail here. Remember, when we learned about this in inheritance, we know that the dominant allele is very special because it only needs to be present once for that genotype or for that phenotype to exist. So for example, we know for your chromosome pair 1, you inherit one copy. So one chromatid here will be from your mother and the other one will be from your father. So you will inherit two alleles, two versions of that gene, one from your mother and one from your father. Now, the version of that gene may be different. So maybe your dad gives you the dominant allele and your mom gives you the recessive allele. Or maybe they both give you dominant allele or they both give you recessive allele, right? That depends. Now, a dominant allele, so in case of the capital E, that one is dominant. That means if you receive just one of them from one of your parents, you will have that phenotype. So in the case here, if you inherit a big E and a big E from both your parents, you will have a free earlobe because you have the dominant allele which codes for free earlobe. Now, if you receive a dominant allele from one of your parents and a recessive allele from the other, because the dominant allele is present, you will have the free earlobe, not the attached one, because the dominant allele masks the recessive allele. Now, in the last example here, if you receive two recessive alleles from your parents, in this case, because there is no dominant allele, now you will have the recessive phenotype, which is the attached earlobe. All right, so this is just a basic idea. I want you to take away from here is what a genome is. It's just a complete set of DNA from a single organism. So now, knowing that, we can talk about gene pool. Okay, let's take a look at gene pool here. For access to our full-length premium videos and so much more, head over to teachme.org now.